Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Pastor Ron, and welcome to Faith Talk with Pastor Ron. It's been a little hiatus, man. It's been a while. I remember my last podcast I actually recorded. Um, I've been battling a little bit of hoarseness. I had a little hoarseness. I don't know. I think it's related to my allergies. Been a very bad allergy season for me so far. The pollen in the air. So this year I actually experienced a level of hoarseness. And for the first time in about 2 weeks, I could speak without croaking. Sounding like a frog or sounding like Doc Rivers. So this is why I had the ability to speak and ability to be with you guys today. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for checking back in. Please don't forget to follow this podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast. So let's go right into it. Yesterday at church, I shared something with my congregation, and I wanted to share it with you guys and go a little bit more in depth with you guys. So we talked about being emotionally available. We talked about many of us having the reason why we are missing out on God, because emotionally we are unavailable. We have to understand that there are two sides to every man, to every human. There's the physical, the one that you see, and there's the invisible, the spiritual man, the emotional man. It's kind of intertwined into one. And a lot of us, what we are battling is finding the ability to intertwine our physical, what people see, with what we really are on the inside. And unfortunately, what we are doing is we're spending more time investing in who we are on the outside as opposed to figuring out who we are on the inside. And I think it's more important for us to take care of the inner man than for us to focus on the outer man. Because when you leave this earth at the end of the day, what's going to leave with you is your inner man, not your outer man. So all the houses and cars and money and sneakers and heels and purses that you buy, these things won't leave the earth with you. All these degrees and all these awards, they will not leave this earth with you. Not saying these things are not important. Pastor Ron is definitely a proponent, and I support people pursuing and achieving and taking care of yourself and looking, I think these things are important, but the emphasis needs to be on the inner man. The emphasis needs to be on who you are on the inside. And many of us need to do a better job of fixing who we are on the inside. So when I say that people are emotionally unavailable, right? I've used this term in the past to talk about how we are preoccupied, how we are going through our own situations as we're trying to figure out and fix this inner man. We're battling and going through a lot. I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, don't take my absence personal. And sometimes I'm unavailable emotionally because I'm sad, I'm broken, I'm grieving, I'm going through my own stuff. I'm trying to build myself up, which all leads me to not being available emotionally. Like, we have a culture of people taking everything personal. Oh, Pastor Ron, when I was going through my season in the hospital, why didn't you come and see me? It's possible. Yes, I would love to come see. I would love to be there. But it's also possible that the reason why I haven't come to see you is because I'm going through my own stuff. And that I don't want to infect you. I don't want to, pile onto you. I don't want to be to give you toxic information because I'm going through my own stuff. So therefore, my absence is actually to your benefit and not to your detriment. My absence is like, you know what? I'm not in a good space. So as opposed to me being there and infecting her, or as opposed to me being there and and allowing myself to just share my poison with her. Like as I'm going through my season of poison, I'm toxic, or I'm hurt, and I'm unavailable, and I'm broken. That as opposed to sharing that and possibly infecting you, making your situation worse, what I've decided to do is I've decided to make sure I just take myself away. But as opposed to seeing things that way, we choose to see things personally, like, oh, you don't like me, you're a fake Christian, you're a fake friend. No, I'm just going through something. I'm going through something, and me pulling back is as a way of protecting you, because like it's like let's take emotional set out the way. It's like if I have the flu, right? I'm not gonna come to your house. If I have COVID, I'm not coming to your house. Why? Because of my ailment, because of that virus, because of that sickness. It's a very good possibility that I will harm you. So as opposed to harming you, I just stay back on my own and wait till I get better to spend time with you. And a lot of us, we have to respect the fact that sometimes people are that are unavailable emotionally. We have to understand that and not take everything personal. People are throwing down 15 years of friendships because a person was not there for one hospital visit. People was not missed one phone call, was not there for one situation. But throughout the other entire 15 years, I've always been there with you. I've been there for you. But this one time that I'm not there, this one time I'm practicing self-care, and all of a sudden I'm a bad friend. So we have to be careful and not take everything personal. We have to be careful and not allow ourselves to say, because you're not there, you're a bad person. I may be going, I could be going to work. I could be going to school. I could be posting, but still emotionally unavailable. We have to understand that. We have to understand, though I'm functioning, though I'm still out there, taking pictures and, working, but emotionally, I'm unavailable. So don't take everyone's absence personal. It's actually sometimes to your benefit. And sometimes God even allows them to be unavailable so you can get to Him. If we're always finding solace and helping your friends, then why do I need God? If I'm always finding what I need from my friends, then why do I always? There's no need for me to go to God, because God has the ability and power to give me everything that I need. My friends have the ability and power. I should say my friends have the ability and power to give me everything that I need. I don't need God. So God's rejection is actually to your protection, because it turns you back and allows you to go back to Him. So I think it's imperative. It's crucial that we constantly understand that sometimes people can be emotionally unavailable. It's like, when you say, oh, why? I see you posting, but why can't you answer my text, answer my call? I'm emotionally unavailable. Let's choose not to always take things out negatively and tear things down for a moment. But yesterday, when I was talking to my congregation, the best church in the world, RCOG in Philadelphia, one of the things that we talk about, we were talking about Samuel, 1 Samuel 16 verse 1. We're talking about the prophet Samuel. This on the heels of Saul and his disobedience to God, on the heels of the prophet Saul the King Saul sitting here and being rejected by God, on the heels of Saul being fired but yet still being in the position, he had a moment of grief. No one knows exactly why he was grieving. Maybe he was grieving for the nation. Maybe he was grieving for Saul, where he felt guilty because he was the one that anointed Saul on behalf of the people and went to God, interceded on behalf of the people. Maybe that is why he was grieving. Maybe he was just grieving because he was like, dang, what are we going to do now? But Saul had a moment of grief. And in 1 Samuel 16:1, God, in essence, telling him to man up and move on. Like, why are you still mourning, Saul? Why are you still mourning? Watch this, the one I've rejected. And sometimes many of us are stuck, and we're going to miss out on God because we are sitting here focused on things that God have rejected. We are sitting here focused on people that God has rejected. We are sitting here and we're focused on friends that God has rejected. So I want us to realize, I want us to understand the dangers of focusing on what God has rejected, on focusing on the people, focusing on the things that God has rejected. We sit here and he was grieving, and God said, yo, Saul, how long are you going to grieve? Like, bro, like, come on, get out of this situation. Get out of this moment. Like, I've rejected Saul. Now it's time for you to get up and go find the next king that I've appointed. Now it's my turn to select a king. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, and a lot of us are in that situation where we are functioning, but we are like we are unavailable emotionally because we are looking back on the things that God said let go of. We are looking back on every single thing that God said, you know what, man, this is not for you. But yet, what we do is we constantly sit here and we look back at these things. We sit here and we grieve over these things. But God said, I rejected Saul. It's time for you to move on. So this is why I say some of us are emotionally unavailable. Like, I could be single, relationship-wise, where I'm not tied to anyone, where no one is claiming me. But deep down inside, when I look at myself, I'm emotionally unavailable. When God looks at me, your status may say single, but at the end of the day, you have a tie. Emotionally, you are tied to someone. Emotionally, you are intertwined, and you are committed to someone that is actually your ex. That every single time you see the person, he or she messes up your day, that you could be scrolling on social media and this person's face pops up and you get all upset, right? So you've gotten to a place where you may say, I'm not dating anyone. I'm not tied to a person, but emotionally, I'm tied to the person. Emotionally, this person has a tie to me because of the fact that I'm sitting here and I'm looking back and grieving over things. You see, Samuel was going to miss out on David because he was grieving out Saul. God was already here on the next. God was already here on the new. God was already here to be able to give him what he needs. But God is giving his selection, his person, the king after his own heart. But Samuel was getting ready to miss that because he was so upset and so focused on Saul. So God said, so he was actually unavailable because emotionally Saul was still a person that he wanted to be king. So what are you grieving over? What are you putting your life on pause over? And God is telling you to move on. What is the thing that God has taken out of your life? God has delivered you from. The person, come on, the person that God has delivered you from. Who is that person? Is it your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, your baby father, your ex-husband, your baby moms, your just a regular, just an ex, just your old church, your old job, all of these things that you sit here and you're grieving like, oh my God, why did this happen? Oh my God, I prayed for this. Oh my God, why couldn't this work out? Oh my God, this is not fair. And we're sitting here grieving over things, over people that God has rejected. And God said, I have something new for you. I have something better for you. But you're so focused on the past that you're going to miss out. So some of you who are praying for relationships and praying for a move, praying for a new ministry, praying for growth in a particular area, God said, I cannot give you this because you're unavailable. I cannot give you this level of growth, this level of experience, this new person, because you have sat here. You have gotten to a place where you have failed to move on because you're unavailable. Because if you go further in the text, what the text says, and that was the crux of my sermon yesterday, God does not view us by appearance. God views us by our hearts. So when God looks at your heart, not your status, he looks at your heart, you're saying, oh, she's still in a relationship, so I cannot bring her someone new. If you're still stalking your ex's page, you are emotionally unavailable. If you have created a fake account to go through your ex's page, you are emotionally unavailable. If you have sat here and you have your friends log in on your phone. If you have your friends log in on your phone just to go through your ex's page, you are emotionally unavailable. If every time you see your ex on social media, he or she messes up your day, you are emotionally unavailable. If you constantly stalk your ex's page, you are emotionally unavailable. If you have your friend's login information saved to your phone, so you could go on her side or his side to look at what your ex is doing, you are emotionally unavailable. These are the things I want you to understand. These are the things I want you to realize. It's not enough to simply say, I'm single, but are you really single? Because when God looks at your heart, God looks at you, he says, oh, she's unavailable. He's definitely unavailable. I can't send new. I can't send next. I can't introduce this person to a new ministry or a new job or a new location because they're still tied to their old location. So I want us to understand the value of being emotionally available. And a lot of us are, unfortunately, unavailable emotionally. So look at yourself, man. Look at who you are. Look at what you're doing in your life. Are you available? Are you ready? Are you there? Are you at a place where God can release what he has for you? Are you getting ready to miss out on your blessing because of the fact that you are so focused on the past? God said, I have rejected her. I have rejected him. I have rejected this job. I have rejected this location, this ministry, this place where you're living. God said, I have rejected this place. It is time for you to be at a place to move on. Because God will not bless you in that state. Because he understands that if he blesses you in that state, you are prone to stay in that state. So God said, I will starve you from your blessings in order to allow you to get to a place of moving on. I will starve you at this place because I want to get you to a place where you move on. Are you available emotionally? I know you left that place. I know you left that relationship. I know you left that location. I know you left that ministry. I know you left that job, but are you emotionally available for God to release his blessings over you? Because if not, if you're still grieving over the things that God has rejected, you may miss out on your David, on your blessing, for what God has for you. Check your heart. Check your emotion. Check you. And see what you think. Well, thank you for listening. I pray this word challenges you, encourages you. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to leave some feedback, leave some comments, post on your social media. Help get this word out. I appreciate you. I honor you, God. Thank you for listening. God bless you.